As we continue with our theme of God hears and answers when we call, today I want to share a story from 1 Kings chapter 17. This is one of the best known stories of the prophet Elijah. And the context is that it's a time of severe drought, and so because of the severe drought, there's very little food and people are starving. And he is staying with a woman in Zarephath, a widow, and her son. After this, the son of the woman, the mistress of the house, became ill. His illness was so severe that there was no breath left in him. She then said to Elijah, "What have you against me, O man of God? You have come to me to bring my sin to remembrance and to cause the death of my son." But he said to her, "Give me your son." He took him from her bosom, carried him up into the upper chamber where he was lodging, and laid him on his own bed. He cried out to the Lord, "O Lord my God, have you brought calamity even upon the widow with whom I am staying by killing her son?" Then he stretched himself upon the child 3 times and cried out to the Lord, "O Lord my God, let this child's life come into him again." The Lord listened to the voice of Elijah. The life of the child came into him again, and he revived. Elijah took the child, brought him down from the upper chamber into the house, and gave him to his mother. Then Elijah said, "See, your son is alive." So the woman said to Elijah, "Now I know that you are a man of God, and that the word of the Lord in your mouth is truth." One of the most painful things in life is to lose a child. And sadly, we have had that happen in our church just over a month ago when Lenny and Brenda Miranda lost their son Jeremiah. And what we see in this story in 1 Kings 17 is often when tragedy strikes, we wonder, is it something that I've done? Is it for a sin that I've done that my child has died? That's what the woman, the widow in the story says. And we're told earlier in the chapter that she's a widow. So now, in that moment, she has lost both her husband, which represents her present, and now she thinks she's lost her son, which represents her future. And in the midst of that pain, Elijah cries out to God and pleads for the child's life. And thankfully, in this case, the child's life is revived and he is restored to his mother. We will see in the Gospel of Luke much later on a similar story in which Jesus comes upon a funeral procession where a son, a widow's only child, is being carried out, and Jesus touches the funeral and the young man revives. Very similar to the prophet Elijah. When those like Jesus and Elijah cry out to God, we know that God hears them. But sometimes we need to be reminded, even in the face of tragedy in our own lives, where our loved ones don't make it, God still hears us, and God walks with us through that pain.